guys, we're Em and Law and we've been documenting our rhinoplasties that we had in Turkey just over 3 months ago now. And in today's video we thought we'd talk about all the things that we wish we'd have known before we went over there, because you think that you're prepared and you watch all these vlogs and then you go over there and you still manage to be taken by surprise by certain things. So we thought this video could be quite helpful for anyone that's got a rhinoplasty booked and is thinking about going to have it done abroad.
I think the experience is just so different from watching other people's vlogs. Like, you can't actually picture exactly what they're feeling at the time, and we're going to try and discuss like some of the weirder, more unexpected things that we experienced, just so that you guys can be aware as well.
So the first thing that we wish we'd have known before we went to Turkey for rhinoplasty was that you can't just go away and have a nose job done in secret and expect nobody to notice. I know for me and you, we work from home, so we're quite lucky in the respect that we don't really have to like fill in colleagues or anything like that, because we're not going back to work immediately afterwards.
Yeah, I had no one to tell it was good.
Yeah, so I just thought this is great because we can go and have the surgery and we don't need to have these awkward conversations with people that might not understand, because the thing with surgery is there is still like a lot of people have a stigma around it. So we just went with the mindset of like, we're not telling anyone. We didn't even tell family. Only our partners knew because we just wanted to go and get it done.
Yeah, we just didn't want that bad energy because we knew that a lot of people would be like trying to put us off doing it.
Yeah. The problem with that is that when you come back and you realise that you're all actually looking pretty different, especially if you've got thick skin and have a lot of swelling like we do, then unfortunately people are going to notice. And then it's kind of awkward because, like, I know with me and work, I do work from home, I have a few calls a week, and I told everybody that I'd gone on holiday.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of awkward because it's like, well, now everyone's going to be like, well, what kind of holiday did you go on? And
yeah, you sent me a hilarious video as well. I don't know whether you want to share it on here or not. It was this video where you were practicing telling work that you'd had a nice holiday, and like trying to angle your nose in a way that it didn't look like you'd had surgery. But I think just because it was so soon after we'd had it, like, you wouldn't have fooled anyone.
I look so weird. Yeah, if I can find it, I'll put it in. That's a big thing, is like, it's completely up to you how many people you choose to tell, but have a plan for afterwards, because chances are you are going to be looking pretty different and you are then going to have to explain it to people. So it's probably better to, like, I mean, the less people you lie to at the beginning, the better, because then it's just awkward to have to like explain it afterwards.
Yeah. So something that I would say I was not prepared for was just the discomfort of having the tampons up your nose. And I knew that my nose was going to be blocked and that I wouldn't be able to breathe, but you don't really think about everything that affects going forward. Like, for me, probably the worst things were the fact that I couldn't smell anything, which meant that eating food just felt like a complete waste of time. Like, you don't realise how much your senses are involved in eating, and you kind of just like lose your eating schedule. Like, I think because we were on antibiotics as well, like, they were affecting things. But yeah, it was really weird having a whole week of eating food and not being able to taste it. And I know that for lunch I was doing like cheese and pesto toasties, which was literally like pure pesto like spread onto bread with some cheese on top. I just couldn't smell it and I couldn't taste it. Like, it's the weirdest thing.
And you know what's so funny is the day that we got the cast off, you made a cheese and pesto toasty, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can smell pesto. Like, is this what it's been smelling like all week?
And another thing actually, which is just kind of gross, is I only had like one shower that week, because just the effort of like having a shower when you've got the
you're not
cast on your
supposed to
nose.
shower technically.
Yeah. So I just had like one body shower and I just completely forgot about deodorant, and I didn't shave my armpits or anything. Like, I probably smelt really bad, but I had no idea, because you just can't smell anything. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Because you can't smell, you just forget about doing all those things.
Yeah, and I think you are kind of in survival mode as well, just trying to get through the week. But that leads me onto the pain, because that's something that we didn't expect. And I don't want to scare anyone out of getting a rhinoplasty, because it does seem that we're in the minority for getting pain. Like, most vlogs that we've watched, people seem to be completely fine. But for me and you, when we woke up, we were in a lot of pain, like a lot more than expected. I mean, for me, I've said this on pretty much every video, I felt like I'd been freshly punched in the face. It didn't feel like I'd had any pain meds when I woke up. And I think with Turkey as well, like, we've heard a lot of things about the anaesthesia being quite strong, so when we woke up we also felt really sick, which I don't think that helps.
No.
But the pain throughout the week, the first day was definitely the worst. It was really bad, like we couldn't even sleep that night in the hospital.
It's like when the pain is so bad that all you can focus on is like just getting through the moment, and you like zone everybody else out.
For me, it was just nose pain, head pain. I had some pain in my jaw, and I'd also had an upper left as well. So I had some kind of like stinging eyelid pain as well.
We felt kind of ill as well though, didn't we? Just kind of like fluish.
Yeah, just felt off, I would say. And I think because your nose is stuffed up, it just doesn't help. Like for us, the pain was the worst on the first couple of days, and then after that, it's just like the discomfort of having a blocked nose.
Yeah. So another weird thing that I didn't expect, and again, like what you said, I don't want to put people off having a nose job here. I do just want to be completely honest about the kind of things that we were experiencing. And something really weird for me was that I got a horrible taste in my mouth, and it wasn't kind of expected. It wasn't like a blood taste. It was like almost like a chemically kind of like nail polish remover taste, and that was like completely out of the blue. I think that was actually from the antibiotics, because we googled them and we found out that they cause a whole load of side effects, which we got quite a few of them.
It made recovery so much more difficult being on those antibiotics, because even when we started to feel better with the nose, we had all these side effects from being on the medicine we were on.
Yeah, and the taste was honestly just horrible. Like I wasn't expecting it at all, and it seemed to come about the most when I was eating food as well. So I'd be eating this food with like the taste of like nail polish remover in my throat, and it was just so unpleasant. That probably only lasted for about a week. Like as soon as I had my cast off and I stopped taking the antibiotics, it went away. So if you end up having a weird taste in your mouth like I did, don't worry, it's not like a permanent thing once you've got your nose done.
So something else we didn't expect was the language barrier, and I mean we should have expected this because we were told about it before we went, and we were in some Facebook groups and everyone was saying you need to use a translation app, and we didn't plan enough. So you were trying to get a data package on your phone and then it wasn't like compatible with your phone, so we just thought, oh, we'll use Wi-Fi over there and we'll be fine. But a lot of cases where you need to be translating, for example, in a taxi, like you're not going to have Wi-Fi in a taxi, and it just makes for like really difficult communication. Like there was one point we were in a taxi and for whatever reason my card wasn't working, so then you needed to go and get cash, and it was like just really difficult explaining to a taxi driver. And then same with, we had like a situation in a shop as well where like things were just getting miscommunicated because we didn't just have like the data package for the translation app.
Yeah, that was crazy, wasn't it? Like they thought that Em was going to try and steal the shopping trolley with like all the bags in, whereas we were trying to explain that we were going to take it out of the shop and back around to put it through, because
we were trying to do them a favour, but yeah.
But everything just got really confused, and we had a moment in the hospital as well. Like maybe you would think that like the hospital is the place where English is known, but that wasn't really the case. And I remember the day before when we came to get the blood test, there was just a lot of confusion about what we needed to get done. And you got sent down to a floor below me to get your blood test done. And then I went back up and I spoke to someone who wanted to send me up to the 23rd floor to meet the doctor.
Yeah.
And I was like, how am I supposed to do this? Like I need to wait for Em first, but I had no way of communicating because we didn't have any data. So
I just think like having that data package to be able to use a translation app, it just makes things so much easier, because Wi-Fi isn't actually that readily available in Istanbul.
No.
Like even in the hospital it was like really difficult to log in and we had to get someone to do it for us.
I feel like all of my things that I didn't expect are to do with symptoms, but I have another one. This is more of just like linked to the discomfort of having the tampons up your nose. It was the issue with sleeping. We knew that it would be a struggle to sleep, but something that I didn't expect, which I don't know why my body did this, yours did it as well, it's like self-sabotage, but my mouth kept closing when I was trying to go to sleep. I'd be drifting off to sleep and then my mouth would close, and because my nose is like fully blocked, I would wake up feeling a bit like I was drowning. Like it was a really horrible feeling. That was like coupled with the fact that I couldn't sleep because of the antibiotics as well, so it just wasn't a good time.
I think as well, just trying to sleep on your back, like if you're not a natural back sleeper and then you have to sleep on your back propped up with pillows and you've got all this stuff shoved up your nose, like for me it was just impossible, and I would often wake up lying on my side, and it's kind of like, well, there's nothing you can do about that,
Yeah.
because if you roll in your sleep, like,
Yeah.
you roll in your sleep.
Your body just does its own thing when it's asleep as well. Like, I woke myself up one night because I'd like tried to sniff the blockage away from my nose, but obviously because I had the tampons in, that was like really horrible.
So the next thing we didn't expect, and this was a big thing for me, was that you will look weird after surgery. And this is something that we did kind of touch on earlier with like telling your boss and all of that. But I watched a lot of vlogs where I think because some of the vlogs that I watched, people had thin skin or they were having like really minor changes. Whereas for me and you, we have thick skin and we were basically getting the whole shape of our nose changed. Like there was nothing really that we liked about our old noses, so we just gave the surgeon like the freedom to do whatever he wanted to do. I mean, I'll pop a picture of our old noses in here, but they were just like droopy, long, they were curved from the side. So we had pretty much everything done apart from the nostrils. We didn't have those taken in. So waking up, I just don't know how we expected to be back to normal like within a week's time, because like I know for me, I thought, okay, cast off day, like we'll probably look weird, but then like a few days after that we'll just look normal again. But you just don't. Like, I think for me, it wasn't even really just the shape of my nose. I mean, that was an issue in itself. It was just piggy. It had this weird line. But it was also like just the gap here. That was something that I just wasn't expecting to be so much of an impact, where the gap was at the worst part because I just felt like it was really obvious that we'd had surgery.
Yeah, I mean, that was the main thing for me. Like, my nose started to look more normal within probably a few days, but for me it was just like the gap that was here and the fact that like your lip just goes like this and then you're talking like this.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to Brownies and everyone was saying like, oh, you look like you from Whoville, like, because the kids just don't hold back, and I was just like, God, this has got to get better soon.
Yeah, I remember being on work calls and just staring at my face when I was talking and being like, it's actually not moving. Like, it was so weird, like just this area of my face wasn't moving, and if I'd smile, like it would be like, yeah. And it just did not look right, and I was like, someone is gonna catch me out here, like someone's gonna message me and be like, like your trip to Morocco, was it actually a trip to Morocco?
And the fear is that it's going to stay like that forever as well, but like, we're here to say you can see that our mouths are completely normal now, and it's been like 3 months, so don't worry.
Yeah, I would say after about 4 weeks, maybe 5, is when I started to feel completely normal.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you look back on our YouTube videos, the story time that we did immediately after our nose job, I think we're 3 weeks post-op, and if you look at those, like, we were both trying really hard not to smile, because whenever we were smiling, it just looked weird.
So I've got another symptom to share, and this one came about when we came home, and it was during the healing process when we were able to kind of blow our noses softly, but we were still using the saline rinse, and nobody prepared me for massive bogeys that you would get in your nose at that time. And I think I actually did some research on it, and it's a normal thing that happens after a nose job because your nose is just unable to function like it usually does. And I think it's actually called a mucus plug, which is not the same as like if you've watched any if you've watched any baby videos, it's nothing to do with that. And it's where all this mucus will basically get stuck up your nose, and then you have to rinse it away with the saline solution. It's really disgusting, but this is the reality of after a nose job. You have to use like a cotton bud or a Q-tip to get it out. And honestly, some of the bogeys that I pulled out of my nose, and it was the best feeling in the world.
So satisfying.
Yeah, like when you can actually breathe again, it's just amazing. But that is just something to say, like, if you're about to have a nose job, you're probably going to have some really big bogeys, and you're going to get really fascinated with what's going on in your nostrils as well.
So taking it back to when we were in Turkey, something that we probably should have known, and I don't know how we forgot about this, is that we didn't go away with any medical insurance. And if you actually search medical insurance in one of these Facebook rhinoplasty groups, there's like some information about how you can get it for really cheap. Like it's not expensive at all, because like, thinking about it, like if you tell insurance that you're going over for surgery, like I would imagine it to be really expensive, but you can actually get it for quite cheap apparently.
I didn't know that.
For me, it just completely slipped my mind. And then after surgery, it's not worth it because you don't have the peace of mind. So we were struggling with symptoms after surgery, like just feeling really sick and all these things that were linked with the antibiotics. But your brain kind of goes to the worst because like you're in a foreign country, you've just had surgery, you can't really communicate with anyone like apart from the assistant on WhatsApp. That's all that we had. And yeah, your brain goes to worst and you start worrying like, what if I've got an infection and all of this stuff? Because if you have to go back to the hospital and you don't have medical insurance, like that's another few £1,000s that you're going to be shelling out to have like whatever treatment you need. I wish that we'd have known, because it would have given us more peace of mind.
A weird kind of like mental thing that I felt when we were about to leave was like feeling like almost kind of lost, because we'd been wanting to get this done for so long, and then as we were leaving I kind of got this big feeling of like sadness, and just kind of the same as like when you've gone on a dream holiday and you're going home and you're like, oh, that's it now, like it's never, this is never going to happen again, which is the weirdest thing. Like I never expected to feel that way, but I think it is just because we wanted this for so long and it had been such a big build up as well. And then to get it done and to just be like, oh, that's it now, like my nose has changed, like I'll never have to think about surgery again.
It's kind of like that purpose has gone, yeah.
So another thing that I know both me and you struggled with is the really dry skin, and we actually had quite a few skin issues after the nose job, which again, really random, like you wouldn't really expect it. For a start, we had like really bad acne like after we came home, and then after that I got dry skin on my forehead and especially on my nose, and that's something that like 3 months down the line I still have really dry skin, to the point where like if I just scratch my nose then there's just skin that peels away. Like it's the weirdest thing.
The acne was like the worst surprise straight after surgery, and I think as well we didn't react well to the arnica cream. I mean, it makes your face feel like it's burning. It's really weird.
Yeah. I mean, my face on that week when we had the cast on was extremely greasy.
Yeah, mine too. Oh, it's so oily.
And now I feel like it's gone the other way.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have skin issues because they have to wear tapes on their nose, but for us, after the first week, we were told we didn't need to use them. And we still have the dry skin, so yeah, it's a weird one. Like, your skin just completely changes after surgery, and a lot of people are in the same boat as us. Like, in the Facebook group, a lot of people saying like, when does your skin go back to normal? So the final thing that we didn't expect about getting a nose job in Turkey is just how nice of a place Turkey is. And I mean, we can't comment on the whole country, but we stayed in Istanbul and we just really enjoyed a time there. Like, if we hadn't have had surgery, we would have had a great week.
Yeah.
Like, the locals are friendly. We never felt unsafe as well. Like, it was just 2 girls over there and we never felt like in danger for just being 2 women by themselves. The food was lovely from what we could taste of it, like the last few days. And there was cats everywhere in the streets, which I just think is like a mark of a great place when there's cats everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like Turkey gets kind of a bad rap. We didn't expect to like it as much as we actually did, and we left saying that we wanted to go on holiday there.
Yeah, we definitely will go back again, and it will be nice to kind of eat out more and actually explore Istanbul more, because we didn't know, like with our recovery, we didn't know how much time we would actually get to explore. And if you watch our vlog, you can see that we didn't pretty much no exploring, because
for days on end we just sat inside, and the time went so fast as well.
Yeah, so it would be really nice to go back and actually experience more of it, and to like eat at more restaurants and try more of the Turkish desserts as well, because they have loads of really nice stuff.
They have loads of bakeries. Like, we went in that one bakery and got that like really creamy dessert, and it was so good. That was like the first day that we could taste again as well, because we had the tampons out.
So that is something that I wish we would have known before going, because I think we were a little bit nervous about how safe we would feel over there.
And we didn't need to be.
Yeah, we just want to like put everyone's mind at ease that Turkey is actually a really nice, friendly country. So even if you're going by yourself, I doubt there'll be any moments where you feel unsafe. So those were a bunch of things that we wish we would have known before going for a rhinoplasty, and we hope that you guys found this video helpful. And if you're about to go for a nose job in Turkey, good luck, you've got this, and it's not as bad as perhaps we made it out to be. No. I just feel like we have quite a low pain tolerance, so it's kind of like, if we can get through it, then you guys can get through it.
Yeah, and it's nice to go in informed as well.
So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We've got loads of nose job content already on our channel, so if you want to go and have a binge, feel free. We've got a story time video, and we've got our rhinoplasty vlog, and we've got just a few other videos surrounding the healing process and things like that. So we'll see you in our next video.
Now I realize it was was always supposed to be.